Ministry of Health continues aggressive testing in the wake of rising positive COVID-19 cases. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Details to the news for Wednesday, September 1st, 2021. I am Abigail McIntyre. The Ministry of Health is continuing to conduct aggressive testing for COVID-19 positive cases, doing both PCR and antigen testing against the backdrop of the current spike. Health officials conducted further tests on Wednesday, and official results are expected later this evening. 4 persons were admitted to hospital on Wednesday, and that brought the total number of people currently hospitalized to 7. Of the total number of hospitalized cases, 3 are listed in critical condition. Yesterday's dashboard revealed Grenada had 78 new cases of COVID-19, with the total number of active cases standing at 341, of which 330 are local cases. The previous day, there were 104 new cases. The ministry is also continuing the vaccination drive, both with Pfizer and AstraZeneca vaccines available to Grenadians. The government of Grenada says total revenues and grants are behind target by $31.1 million for the first 6 months of 2021. And for the year so far, government has spent on a monthly basis an average of $10.6 million more than it has collected in local revenue and NTF grants. Even in the face of this, Finance Minister, the Honorable Gregory Bowen, says government continues to meet its obligations and will continue efforts to support economic recovery while protecting vulnerable parts of the population by preserving and expanding social safety net programs. Minister Bowen was speaking at the launch on Wednesday of the COVID Economic Stimulus Program 2.0. The $36 million package will be funded through the Caribbean Development Bank under the Inter-American Development Bank, Caribbean Development Bank Global Loan Program, and the Government of Grenada. One component, the support to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, is already in effect, having been launched over 1 month ago.
The components that we are launching today are as follows. Support the vulnerable population on the roster of existing cash transfer programs, $5.3 million. The component will support individuals who have passed the criteria for inclusion under the Support for Education and Empowerment Program SEED that is currently administered by the Ministry of Social Development and are not currently receiving benefits. I repeat, they have passed the test, they're on the list, but they are not receiving any benefits at this time. In other words, the component will temporarily expand the seed beneficiaries for a period of up to 12 months. The second component, support the vulnerable populations who are not on the rosters of existing cash transfer programs working in the informal sector. This component has 2 subcomponents. The first is a monthly income support of $6.7 million. Specifically, this component will target individuals who are working in an informal sector businesses defined already by the Permanent Secretary. But they must be registered later. But at this point in time, they should not be registered with the Inland Revenue Department. They have no fixed hours of work or location and does not have formal arrangements with employees.
Beneficiaries under this component will include cultural artists, cruise ship workers, tourist vendors, tour guides, school vendors, and domestic workers, to name a few. Another sub-component is designed to support youth entrepreneurship, and $1.35 million have been set aside for this purpose. The program will also benefit vulnerable populations that are not on the rosters of existing cash transfer programs and work in the informal sector. $10.6 million have been allocated for this area. There are two subcomponents under this section, the first being a temporary unemployment benefit of 2.6 million EC dollars. The other will involve support to businesses to incentivize new hires, promote startups, and expand existing businesses. $8.2 million is allocated for this area. Minister Bowen also spoke to the benefits of the Internet Connectivity Program.
This component will extend broadband access to vulnerable households with a particular focus on students sitting examination in 2022. As an immediate priority, some 1,500 households are expected to benefit initially. And we must compliment Flow, the initiator of this program, and all the other providers who have signaled the intention to come on board one way or another. $20 to the household, they should contribute on a monthly basis. Flow will contribute $54, and the government of Grenada will secure the remaining $30 for the monthly bill customary to Grenadians of $104. No program is perfect in implementation. Hence, every effort will be made to mitigate against any abuse. If at any point in the program it is found that false or misleading information was used to benefit under the program, the beneficiary will be suspended and immediate action taken to recover sums provided.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break. This is a message from the Ministry of Health. If you or a family member suspect that you may have contracted COVID-19 and are displaying symptoms, please immediately self-isolate at home. This means that you must also avoid all contact with other members of your household. Do not visit hospitals or health centers, as this creates the potential for further spread of the virus, and it puts additional persons at risk when you come into contact with them. Your best course of action is to call the COVID-19 hotline at 458-4787 or 538-4787, or contact your nearest health center or medical station. Once your information has been received, health officials will come to you. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19. This has been a message from the Ministry of Health. Welcome back. Director of the Pan American Health Organization, Carissa Etienne, has warned that 75% of the population in Latin America and the Caribbean has yet to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and reported that PAHO is accelerating its drive to expand vaccine access throughout the region. During her weekly media briefing, Dr. Etienne said 3/4 of people in Latin America and the Caribbean have not been fully immunized. She said that in total, 540 million COVID-19 vaccine doses must be delivered to ensure that all countries in Latin America and the Caribbean can cover at least 60% of their populations.
More than a third of the countries in our region have yet to vaccinate 20% of their populations. And in some places, coverage is much lower. Vaccination rates remain in the teens in several Caribbean and South American countries, and coverage is still in the single digits in Central American nations like Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Not to mention Haiti and Venezuela, where fragile health systems and political challenges have further delayed immunizations. We need to deliver an additional 540 million doses to ensure that every country in the Americas can cover at least 60% of their population.
To accelerate the rate of vaccination coverage in the region, the PAHO director urged countries around the world with excess vaccine doses to quickly share these with the region for life-saving impact. She also advised that public health and not politics should guide the pandemic response. Work has begun for the construction of a tennis court for Sobeys and surrounding areas. Gravel has been spread on the area to ensure that it is leveled out, following which concrete will be poured. The court will be able to facilitate numerous sporting activities. GIS spoke with Acting Coordinator of Sports, Curlin Peters, who said he anticipates a successful completion.
President Gravels has been spread to get the field or the surface up to a level. When it completed, it should take about the next 2 to 3 weeks so that the contractor could level out the area and plaster and concrete the whole area so that we can put a tennis court there. Also looking for not only to put the tennis court, but it can also be used for volleyball. Or maybe could use on one side for netball. But that's an area that will help boost lawn tennis in Grenville and in St. Andrews, and it's long overdue. We've been working hard to get everything properly done.
The contract was awarded to Wilfred Hosford. Meanwhile, work has been completed on the Palms playing field located in Butchgrove, St. Andrew. The work entails widening drains, regrading, and widening the field. The contract was awarded to Hanover Construction Company, Grenada Limited. Mr. Peters visited the site with the contractor to conclude final inspection of the field.
The work is, I must say, completed. So we are looking at the progress and the scope of work have been done, and to see what you have, if it made the standard basically. I must say that I'm satisfied with the work that is being done. When we look at it this morning, we can see that there is a great expansion in the size of the field. The drainage problem, there were a lot of rain this morning. The rain just subsided and we could see that the field is properly drained. So right now we will preparing to grass the field.
And that story brings us to the end of the National Report for today, Wednesday, September 1st, 2021. Recapping the top story, Ministry of Health continues aggressive testing in the wake of rising positive COVID-19 cases. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Abigail McIntyre. Thank you for joining us.